Hello, everyone, and welcome to CD's Nuts Podcast. I don't have intro music or anything because I haven't thought of that stuff yet. This is a podcast where it's four friends. Y'all can introduce yourselves.
What's up? I'm Nut.
I'm Nut.
Idiot.
It says I'm Nut.
I'm Nut. That's one heck of an introduction.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I think we here have Flam, and then I would say to my right is Odin, but I can't see anyone, so...
To the right of the Discord layout, yeah.
It depends on the Discord layout, because to the right of you on my screen is Flamini. So one of us is...
I have no idea how to introduce myself. I've always sucked at this.
You're all below me on Discord, so bow down.
Okay, so our foreign friend is the guy with the very shy Kokomi picture. I am the trash can. Odin is a Gliscor. And then there's a picture of a nut up there, which I'm pretty sure is self-explanatory for who Nut is. Anyway, so how are you guys doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Been playing the Teal Mask DLC.
Oh, I forgot to even start that today. I've been playing Baldur's Gate.
I mean, fair, honestly, I'm just gonna have to hear it from like everyone else, like how the DLC ends up, because I am like not gonna pay extra for that broken ass game.
Honestly, I do kind of feel that. I haven't bought it yet. I don't think I've bought it yet. Maybe I did. And I just don't remember.
I'm not buying it because if they're gonna release a game like that, then no.
I mean, that's completely valid.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, was it that game that made your Switch light on fire?
Yeah, straight up put my Switch.
Yeah. The fun fact, so short story about Nut. His Switch doesn't work anymore because of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. He tried playing it and it made his Switch get so hot that the fan inside it wasn't able to keep up and cool the system, so it basically just destroyed itself.
Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck.
Yep.
And now I'm going backwards in an old PS2 game.
Hey, no, dude, don't knock PS2. PS2 had some good shit on it.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
Like, I still want a PS2 because mine that I have, the laser reader for the disc stopped working, and I've really been wanting to go back and play Ratchet and Clank.
Dude, you know what kind of stuff I want to go back and play someday? So don't you know those CD-ROMs that used to exist back in the day?
Like the ones you'd put like in a computer back when computers used to have those.
I still have like CD-ROMs of Roller Coaster Tycoon and all those good ones.
Bro, wait, Roller Coaster Tycoon had CD-ROMs?
Yeah, I don't know where they're at right now, but I remember also having Zoo Tycoon and some others.
This man just jumped away from his microphone.
Yeah, true.
Oh, yeah, I probably should have mentioned that before recording, but
we got so off topic.
The podcast, like, supposed to change.
Like, there's a tradition that I'm establishing now, which is we always have small talk before we get into the main subject. Am I copying Markiplier from Distractable? No. Yes.
I wouldn't even know about that kind of stuff.
The reason I got into listening to Distractable is because I decided one day when Emily and I were going down to the beach for vacation that instead of listening to music on the radio, which she likes to do, and I hate because I hate the radio, and she doesn't like listening to a lot of the stuff on Spotify I listen to, and also the iPod that I have just permanently in my car that I'm surprised is still kicking. It's like 30 years old at this point. None of the stuff on there is really that good, and there's only like 200 songs, so it gets very repetitive. but we started listening to Distractable going down to the beach. So we'll listen to like 3, maybe 4 episodes of it, just going down there, and then another few going back up or back home. So that's how I started listening to Distractable. Alright. Well, so if that's enough for the small talk, if we're ready to get into the meat of the discussion.
Big meat.
Yes.
Alright. So I realized that I had the largest, I don't even know what the word is. I had the largest something or other going into this because I was so hyped for it. And I was like, we're going to do the villain episode. And then I realized if I do villains and make it shows, animes, movies, and video games, we'll never finish the episode no matter how many parts we do. And then I decided to narrow it down to video game villains alone.
Because if we were to do what you just told us, like, we'd be sitting here with like 2-parters, or maybe just a whole ass movie special.
Yeah.
Just a feature length.
Even today, I don't think we're gonna get through our lists. So it's probably gonna be multiple parts.
I don't even think you even gave us a list beforehand, bro.
No, okay. So
We should have all communicated on this.
we really should have. I'm to blame for this. It's fine. So my thoughts were
starting this.
so of the video games that we have played, just we. It doesn't matter if one of us hasn't played one of the same games. Like, I don't think any of you have played Tak and the Power of Juju. If you have, you have earned my respect.
What?
Tak and the Power of Juju, because there is a villain from that game on my list.
Okay, you've already piqued my interest.
Tak and the Power of Jojo.
Juju.
Jojo.
No.
Jojo. Yeah.
Screw both of you. Anyway, so of the games that we have played, who is the best villain? Who is our favorite villain, and why? That is a question we'll be asking, and it basically has to be the main antagonist or an antagonist of a game, because Justin Nutt and I were in call before y'all got in, and this clown wanted to say that the player of NASCAR 2003 is the main antagonist if they go in reverse when the race starts.
I mean, that's true. That's not untrue.
God damn it.
That's a whole ass other topic that you're gonna have to delve in with us at some point.
Yeah, because at that point you can just say that, like, okay, the main character of Skyrim is a villain because the player can make them a villain. Like, that gets a little complicated.
I want to see the world burn.
Exactly. Which, it is very
Player
fun to
of
make the world burn in Skyrim. But...
Player of City Skylines is a true villain.
Wait, who's?
Who?
Who? Who's?
He's not even answering the question. We got him, Flam. He doesn't even know what he was talking about. All
Yeah,
right.
I kind of interrupted, but that's okay.
Listen,
Alright.
I'm going backwards right now in NASCAR Thunder. Don't distract me from killing tons of drivers.
But they're not dead. They just can't move forward because you're dumb.
No,
They're
they
functionally
explode.
bad. They're
They
AI.
explode.
If they can't serve their purpose, then they're dead. Like,
Fair point.
Yeah.
Actually, very fair point. Okay, so who wants to start off? If you don't have a list yet, I can start and just list a few, and then we can just rotate.
Alright.
I feel like I can start off with an easy classic.
Okay.
Although this one might be like a little bit specific on a few fronts, but I think you'll probably like get a general gist of once I name this villain.
Okay.
Bowser.
That one was on my
Okay.
list. Bowser is such a fucking classic.
I am like specifically talking about his iterations in the Paper Mario series, like also the first one in Paper Mario 64, because man, it left an impression on me. Like, so basically, what happens in Paper Mario 64 is Bowser goes up to what is basically like heaven in that world called Star Haven, where he like yoinks a wishing device called the Star Rod, and which is basically just it just can grant like any wish that he desires. The next thing that he does is he uproots Peach's castle from under the place itself and lifts it up into space while Mario and Peach are stuck in there. Then he turns himself invincible with the Star Rod and kicks the shit out of Bowser and Mario and throws him out of the castle. Which, that's already quite a story.
Why does that? Hold on.
I don't know. I don't know if any of y'all have ever played any of the Paper Mario franchise, but
I've only played
have,
the
yeah.
one that was on the
I've played.
Wii, and I liked that
That
one because it was Count Bleck, and that
Mhm.
it was kind of wild.
oh, we can get to him. We can get to him soon after this. But
only
also
memorable
another
thing
thing that no, you go ahead.
The only memorable thing about Bowser is his arms, whenever he's in the air, just go freaking berserk.
That's also another thing about Super Paper Mario. There's this one attack that he has in Super Paper Mario where he like charges at you, and the way his arms move in that. Also, I can never get it out of my head. And also like the voice clip that he has when he does that attack. It's absolutely hysterical.
Well, now I wish I could play Mario Paper Mario 64, but I alas cannot.
Why's that?
I just don't have the game.
Hmm.
Because I
Rip,
think
that
it's
sucks.
I
There's
think
some
it's-
good games.
Yeah, because it's the one. I know not all the Paper Marios are good. Like I think there's basically that one and then the one with Count Bleck. I think those are the only two good ones because the Origami King was garbage.
1,000 Year Door is also like a widely beloved one, the
Okay,
one from the
1,000 Year
GameCube.
Door.
But what's your opinion on that one?
I actually haven't played that one. I've only played Origami King, the one on the Wii, and then I haven't played 64. So I've really only played those two.
So the other neat thing about Paper Mario 64's Bowser that I didn't realize, back when I first played during my childhood, was like something I only realized after reading some random YouTube comment, and that Bowser's plan in that game is almost practically perfect. Like he even had like multiple contingency plans that add to insult to injury. So the way he got the star out in the first place was by having his Match Koopa sidekick Kammy Koopa trapping the star spirits that were guarding the star out in the first place, and he handed those over to his most trusted henchmen and sent those all over the world. The other thing that happened was that he built an arena tailor-made to render the star spirits useless if Mario did eventually gather them all, and the only reason why he lost in that game was because there was another star spirit in training that ended up teaming up with Peach, I think, and Peach pulled some strings in that game. I'll just leave it at that. But
Okay.
I really don't think my words can really do it justice. We should definitely just yoink an emulator and let you experience it for yourself.
I would enjoy that
I
for
have-
sure.
I have a unique pick for best villain.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
Bowser's good
It's gonna
because
be unique, all right.
yeah, knowing you.
No, so the unique pick I have is Gustadolf Astfrost from Triangle Strategy.
What the fuck
Yeah,
just came
I-
out of your mouth?
That game.
I am dead serious. So,
We're getting trolled.
for those who haven't played Triangle Strategy, which is literally everyone but me, It is a game where you play as a political power uh, noble, and your goal is to make the ideal world for you and to attain balance between all the nations in the world. And the unique aspect of it is that you get a choice, and it'll give you three choices or two or however many, depending on the situation. And the main plot of it is that one person named Gustadov will makes an accusation of the salt monopoly of a different country. And so he takes over and attacks a different nation to go and uh, gather uh, resources and a does a full deep clean investigation on the opposing country. However, it is later revealed through stuff I won't explain that he actually is really, really evil. It is it's an awesome game, but I'll throw that nomination in there.
Okay.
Mhm.
If I could put it lightly, I am a little bit lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'd
was
say that.
thinking about how to edit this when I put it on YouTube. Maybe I could put music at the beginning. You lost me as soon as you said nations.
Yeah. That was really hard to follow.
TLDR. TLDR, he's a person who ruled a nation who discovered someone else was using monopoly to their advantage, and he tried to expose them. But later in the story, it is revealed that Gustadov actually is a really bad guy that is just trying to rule the world for his own ideal.
Okay, this just sounds like some Pinky and the Brain shit. I'm gonna go next and just hit something off of my list now.
Okay.
So you listed one of mine, Phlam, which was Bowser. So I'm just gonna very politely cross that off my list. I mean, it's not necessarily specifically Bowser from Paper Mario, but Bowser in general, like, we all fucking know Bowser. It's just one of the most classic villains of all time. Like, credit where credit's due. Should I pick one that's more obscure or one that we all probably know?
Do we have a
I
middle
think more
ground on that of sorts?
obscure will be fine.
Do you want to go obscure?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been wanting to do this one because I saw a TikTok on it, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's right. So from Pikmin 2, which you might not be aware of,
Louis?
Yes!
Oh my God.
Yes! He
Yeah.
fucking knew it! Oh my god! So Louis from Pikmin 2.
Louis is the go.
The king of bugs.
The actual king of bugs. This motherfucker, if you didn't know about Pikmin 2, the game starts with Captain Olimar from the first game coming back to planet Hocotate, and he has discovered that the delivery company he works for, Hocotate Freight, is kaput. They are $0 with a 10,000 whatever currency they are in debt, which is so massive it's ridiculous. And Olimar brought back a bottle cap souvenir from the Pikmin planet that's worth so many currency that they're like, oh, Olimar, you're going back to Earth with this dolt Louis, who's the reason we're in fucking debt, because this clown lost an entire shipment of carrots. How the fuck do you lose
wasn't it?
I think they were like.
Wasn't it that Louis actually ate the carrot?
I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
But yes, that is actually what happens. You later see in the game what actually happens. So Louis not only lies to the company about losing the carrots, he just fucking ate them. But then they're sent back to Pikmin Planet. They end up getting a bunch of crap from the planet that sells for money. Yay, yippee, we're back to Hocotate now. Oh wait, Louis didn't get in the fucking spaceship. We left him! Oh, gotta go back to the Pikmin planet, but this time with your boss. Now you're with your boss, and Louie is in the most hellish creation possible with so many insects in it, and they all suck. And then the final boss of the game is Louie sitting on top of this giant spider that has poison, electricity, fire, and water bubbles, which don't sound threatening, but they make your Pikmin drown because Pikmin are stupid.
Yeah, the water attack is actually like fucking busted. It like targets you even if you're not near it.
Yeah.
I actually like my big brother recently played Pikmin 2 on an emulator and was like watching him stream it, and he got to the point where he only had the water part left, and it dragged on for so long because we just couldn't get close up to it.
He couldn't get fucking yes. I fucking hate it. The water one is so mean.
Yeah.
Is that final? It's probably an obvious answer, but is that final boss from Pikmin 2 worse than the Emperor Bulblex from the first one?
So from the first game, where the actual gameplay is a bit slower,
I think
it's not as smooth.
I think it's more difficult, to be honest. Like,
I would say it's more difficult, yeah.
Because the Emperor Bulblax, you just cycle him, and so it's just extremely easy. But like, you have to be very active through the Pikmin 2 final boss, so it's not as easy.
Yeah, the Pikmin 2 final boss, you have to be extremely active. The Pikmin 1 final boss, it's hard, but definitely not as hard as the King of Bugs.
Yeah, it's mostly because me and my big brother were like struggling with using the bomb rocks.
Oh, well,
like the yellow Pikmin would usually blow themselves up along with it.
I don't know if this was an error, but I had a yellow Pikmin throw a bomb rock at my other Pikmin in one attempt at it. And this was just to see the fastest that I could go through the game without glitches. You know, the earliest day, and I think I was on day 11 at the Emperor Bulblax. I have less than 300 total Pikmin. And I'm just sitting here. I've got my Bomb Rock Pikmin. And the first one I throw, not only does he go the opposite direction, so I throw him at the Emperor Bulblax, he runs around to the other side, throws the Bomb Rock, misses it, and hits me and my Pikmin, and I just end up with, I think it's like 70 Pikmin die instantly. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to reload my save.
Collateral damage.exe.
Actually, yes. But yeah, Louie from Pikmin 2, that's definitely one I'm going to throw in the ring, because we all have that coworker that we definitely don't like, that we definitely hate, and then if you know the reasons why they can be hated, which is for Louie in this case, he's the reason we had to go to another fucking planet to do work. Like, I feel like that's definitely a good villain title right there.
Yeah.
So
the biggest enemy of all. The biggest enemy of all is inconvenience, and that is what Louis did to us.
Yes. 100%.
How about Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth?
We aren't gonna let Odin get a go.
But Sephiroth was on something on my list for a character I was gonna say. But I think I have the objectively best villain in video game history.
Oh.
Oh, let's hear it.
Very cool.
It is Ganondorf.
That's on my list too. I fucking love Ganondorf.
He's so good. Like, he meets all the criteria for like a perfect antagonist.
He really does.
You know what? I agree. He's got fan art. He's got fan art out the wazoo.
Yeah, you know,
like
sexy.
Yeah,
especially that NSFW stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think that makes villain criteria, but okay.
But yeah, I mean, the boss fights are always good.
Yes.
He always has a prominent role throughout the story.
Mm-hmm.
His character is good and developed. Like, it's just really good character.
Mm-hmm. So if we were going to narrow down which Ganondorf, and we can include Demise in this, because Demise is essentially the first Ganondorf, but, which Ganondorf is the best Ganondorf, then?
All the Zelda fans are sweating right now, and I'm not one of them.
I am one of them, but I'm sticking by
Um,
my guns with this answer.
What would that be?
The Wind Waker Ganondorf.
That's very solid, yeah.
And the reason I would say that is because if you look into the lore of that particular Ganondorf, it is in fact the Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time, if I'm not mistaken. But it's on the child timeline to where Link never fights him. So the Master Sword technically never gets pulled, and they don't have all the other crap that happens in Oot. Fast forward to the gods say, oh, he's a danger, drown the planet. A few people can survive, that's fine, but we want to make sure that he's dead. He doesn't die, spoiler warning. And now we're in Wind Waker. And so he's literally puppet mastering from the very fucking start of a different game into this one. And by the end of the game, he gets everything that he wants, only to have it ripped out of his hands, and then just like laughing maniacally and going into a blind rage to kill anything next to him. I'm sorry, it's just beautiful. It's poetic even.
So you guys know I'm like, wait, what was that image again I was thinking of? I'm like four parallel universes ahead of you. That is Wind Waker Ganondorf, the way you describe him.
I mean,
and pretty much. That's most Ganondorfs, though. He's like a very like kind of scheming, plotting character.
Yeah. He stays in the shadows until it's his moment to shine, and then he shows you why he's like fucking powerful as hell.
Yeah, the Demon King.
Oh yeah.
I posted the image that I was talking about in the Don't Bite channel.
I will take a look at that later, because
yeah,
this is going on YouTube, and I can't click out of this without revealing information that I don't want to reveal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I had to pick a Ganondorf, it would probably be Ocarina or the Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf.
Oh, Tears of the Kingdom is so good.
I haven't gotten to the ending yet, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to delve into that.
I'm not saying jack shit. Once you get
I would say...
Thank you.
Ocarina's better, but like the final fight for Tears of the Kingdom is a better fight.
Yeah.
But like throughout the story, Ganon is just a better character in Ocarina, I'd say.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
So back to you, Flam. Who's your villain submission?
He said Bowser, right?
Boy.
I don't know.
Yeah, his first submission was Bowser.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're gonna beat a Ganondorf, but
oh god, I didn't really think this through.
I didn't really think this. It's fine. If you need a moment, I can go. I have a list of about 30 here.
Okay.
I'd be fine with that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go something that's more known, I would say. I want to decide between these two, though.
Try to describe them in like the worst way possible and have us like red pill, blue pill it.
I will try. Do you want me to do both of the ones that I was looking at, or no?
Yeah.
Okay. She's very sexy, but you don't know anything about her. You can't interact with her whatsoever, but she can interact with you. You have no control. She has all the control. You just don't know it.
Why do I have a feeling that I know this one?
Books.
Robot from Portal.
No, not that. Actually, hold on. That unintentionally is exactly what I described. But no, I didn't even think about that one. So no, not that one.
So what's the blue pill in this case?
So the blue pill is... Well, if I say that, I'll just give it away immediately. It all started a very long time ago with just one murder. One murder became several more. Several more became many more after that. He was never caught, and eventually he died doing his murdering spree because he was haunted by the ghosts of those that he had killed. But his spirit continued to live on. As he lives on, we learn more and more about his family and the people that he did business with. And it turns out that there's so much more to that. And even though he is dead and his spirit lives on, after his spirit is finally cleansed of the earth, we find out that it's not true because there's more than just a spirit, there's an AI involved. And he's still around. He's just waiting to be freed.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay, so the two choices. Your blue pill is William Afton from Five Nights at Freddy's. And your red pill was Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club.
I knew it.
So which one of those am I submitting first?
I mean, if you're doing the blue pill, you're gonna have to like drop the FNAF lore bomb.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
don't know
ready.
if the audience is ready for that.
I'm not ready. There's so much fucking lore.
So, yeah, red pill it is.
Alright, so if you haven't played Doki Doki Literature Club, I don't know if I can even recommend that you do because it's very dark. Very quickly dark as well, I should say. Though you might not realize it until you get to the dark part. But Monica...
Which one? There's many.
Anyway, I'm ignoring you. So Monica is, I'm pretty sure she should be considered the main antagonist. Now, I might not necessarily consider her that because it's more of an AI that has become sentient. The whole idea is that the game is alive. Monica is not just a programmed character. She herself is sentient, or that's what the game is trying to bring the attention to once you get into the meat of it. And so Monica basically strings you along for the story of the game only for you to only ever end up in her possession. We'll say that. Just the way that it works. And like thinking about how AI is today and how this is basically just the beginning of where we're at now. I'm sure everybody online or who has ever looked at a phone understands that AI has caused a rupture in like the artistic society with like writing and making art as like a way of living because AI can do things in mere seconds, whereas it would take humans months and weeks to do the exact same thing, even if they can do it much better.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's like once AI becomes sentient, then what happens? Like, because something like Monica could exist in IRL, which is fucking terrifying. So as
that
far
is
as
a whole nother rabbit hole we could dive into.
yes,
but,
yes,
my
it
god.
is. But that's why I
Just
said
even
AI
thinking
is
about it.
a great topic in general.
yes.
Like, yeah.
But that's why I submitted Monica because it's actually kind of relevant in terms of what AI is capable of, and the fact that it's a villain AI is like, uh-oh.
I like to submit two villains.
Two
from
clown
the same-
actors. Yep.
I'm ready.
Two villains from the same game.
Is it gonna be
Okay.
what? Is it gonna be the Piranha Plant from Mario Party DS?
No. Flowey and Kara. from
You
Undertale.
actually named two that were on my list,
Hmm.
which are good villains. Continue.
Kind of ties into the
They're-
main player character villain thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the gray line of that. Kara has actual lines and is described as whenever you make your decisions, it is either going to be your own or influenced by other characters, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, with if you kill everyone, then it is described that you are no longer the player character. You are playing as Kara. Straight up.
Yes.
And all the NPCs don't recognize you as the
Frisk. You can
name
say
that you went
Frisk.
with, Frisk, yeah, because it varies, but it recognizes you as Kara instead of Frisk. Flowey in the main the I guess you could say the official canon one, the true ending plays as a true villain.
It's.
Uh,
I think Flowey's more of a. It's one of like those like what's it called, like a fallen angel kind of thing, where it's like
Yeah.
their true soul is really good and very innocent, but what they've become because of what happened to them, they are just demonic and evil.
yeah.
So it's more like that. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with both of those being villains because, I mean, it is what it is. And also, just the first time anyone really plays the game and probably kills Toriel because I think that's what I did the first time I played the game is I killed Toriel.
Another
That's
another great
understandable.
point. Another great point to build off of that is the game itself changes its dialogue depending on what your action is.
Yes.
So, like for Toriel, if you kill her, you reset the game and then you save her. Flowey acknowledges that and
Mm-hmm.
says that you are playing God.
Yes. That is a thing that I forgot. That actually is what
Yeah.
happens when you reset the game. And I think Sans says something about it too at some point, doesn't he?
Yes, he says it over and over and over again, actually. Specifically talking about the fight.
Yeah.
That you reset, you die, you reset, you die. He's like, huh, that's the third time. That's the fourth time. That's the fifth time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is a very interesting concept with the villains in that game. And they're very well written, is the other part.
Mm-hmm.
All the characters in that game are really like solid.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Even though Muffet
even the
doesn't have a
ones that
central
don't
part, she is my favorite.
even the ones that don't matter, like the dog. In the grand schemes of things, they don't matter. Like the two guard dogs that are in love.
Oh,
And like
yeah, yeah.
you kill one of them and then the other person and the other one cries.
Just the K9 unit in general. Just
Yeah.
any playable character. It's kind of it's just wild to me. Like that's actually like that takes into consideration what consequences the loss of one of those characters has, and
Mm-hmm.
how that is felt across the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
It is very well portrayed as a
It's
game.
mhm,
However, we are talking solely about villains.
mhm.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you start
So
talking
I
about
don't.
Undertale, you can just go on for
Yeah.
days, you know?
Like even just
Like
mentioning this is kind of chilling to
like the
me.
dog. If you choose to not do anything, you just one of the dogs that if you keep choosing to pat their head, their head just keeps going up and up and up.
That's
yeah.
just the one dog, though. But yeah. Well, I guess it has somehow cycled back to me, and I need to go ahead and throw another one onto the fire. So let's see, I did that one. Let's jump into some Pokemon. I have some Pokemon villains here.
We're going
Alrighty.
to get into
Mm.
some real arguments.
Okay, well, look, listen.
Jonah is a fucking Lusamine simp, so he's always gonna
Yes.
argue that.
Listen,
It's
Dami
okay.
Mami goes
No.
well.
It's okay to simp for mommy. She's got big knockers, and it's fine. Okay?
And
It's
she's
cool.
psychotic. That's
She
a
even
plus.
says she's about 50 years old in the game, or maybe the show or something. I'd still tap
She's
that.
not 50. Okay, she's 40. Okay, let's get that straight.
It's called taste.
Anyway, I was starting to actually talk about Cyrus from DPP.
Mhm.
So, I would like to submit Cyrus is one of the most bomb fucking villains. Because from the beginning of the game, like when you meet him in that one cave, and he just like has that line of dialogue, and it's like not even acknowledging that you're there, but just saying it and leaving. And then you later find out like what Team Galactic really is about, and what he basically doesn't give a shit about anyone in Team Galactic. He doesn't give a shit about anyone ever. Like he literally looks down on everyone as lesser. So that's already just villainous in and of itself. But he goes so far as to create another world where pretty much his goal is for him and him alone to live because he can't stand other people. So essentially, erase existence for everyone else but himself is the goal. And he so damn closely accomplishes this, only to be thwarted by a 10-year-old.
Or Giratina if we're talking about Platinum.
Yeah, or Giratina if we're talking about Platinum, which I prefer Platinum, and I hope we get a Platinum remake specifically because it's a little different than Diamond and Pearl, or BDSP.
You got
whatever.
Legends Arceus. You'll
I mean, they probably won't, but
They probably won't, but I can dream, probably. I'd be very upset when my dream doesn't come true, which I won't be because I'll have expected it. But no, Cyrus is dead damn fucking good villain.
I'll accept him being better than Lusamine as long as we can all agree that Lily is the player villain with all the interruptions and stopping points she has in the game.
If that's the case, can I throw Hop onto the list?
Agreed.
Well, I mean, seeing as I have replayed Sword countless times to like get multiple Zashids, it speaks for itself.
How many Zacians are we talking about?
Yes.
Also just getting multiple cup trues that I ended up trading away. So we're talking like 5-6 playthroughs.
So you're saying you have six Zacians.
Well, I traded most of them away, but
Oh, well, that's
Why
fine,
would you
but...
do that? You had 6 of the most broken Pokemon ever.
to be fair, he's not as good as anymore after the nerf, but you know.
I don't think it matters.
No, the nerf means it only happens one time ever. It's not as good. It's still broken. It's just not
And
as good.
20 less base attack. Like,
oh, they did nerf. I forgot they nerfed the attack.
yeah.
still doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But before we end up going into another tangent, where were we?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna scratch that one off my list as it rotates to Odin. Balls in your court, my guy.
Well, another very good, goated anime villain, or fucking anime, video game villain.
Come on.
Let's go to anime. Let's jump topics.
Subject, like, anyways, Ridley.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ridley.
Yeah, classic.
Who?
Ridley
from Metroid. Yeah, that's a
Metroid.
good one.
Oh, is that Samus's arch enemy?
The dragon.
Okay,
Arch
that's the
enemy.
dragon. I'm not like huge into the Metroid series, so I'm like this one's actually out of my sphere of knowledge.
So basically, Ridley is a space pirate dragon, and he basically goes around the, I guess, Metroid universe wreaking havoc, you know, doing space pirate things as a dragon. And when Samus is a child, he basically, like, messes up her entire, like, village or, like, home planet, and he kills her parents in front of her. And it basically is, like, the main reason as to why Samus is a bounty hunter. But even like just throughout the story, Ridley is very iconic. You know, he always has like good fights, and he's always just portrayed as a exceptional villain. Like he's always evil, like really evil.
His sole purpose
As
is to
villains
kill
are.
and murder. I love it.
Yeah.
Give me the more sinister.
I like y'all to notice that I have not mentioned Xenoblade one time yet.
I'm proud
So
of
I'm
you.
Is it
holding
time?
It'll
back.
go to
Is
the
it
end of the
time?
pod
The
if you
first
don't.
step to admitting you have a problem is just admitting you have a problem.
I don't have a problem. The only problem I have is that you haven't played it yet.
That's fair.
The even bigger problem is my massive bucket list of games that I still have yet to get to.
No, the bigger problem is that my Switch is broken, and then I'll admit I have a problem.
I just realized there are 2 villains I didn't add to my original list that I can now add to my list, which I'll do after Flam submits a villain here.
Okay.
Can I
How
start
do I put
submitting my
this?
Xenoblade? My Xenoblade.
That might take a long time. I know how big
That
It's
of a
gonna
will
game.
take
really
a
long time. Like
Xenoblade is such a long franchise. If you like, it's a big not a big franchise.
No, it's not. It's not a big franchise.
It's not a big franchise. I'm trying to say it to where the series and story of the game is extremely long and expansive, and I know there are multiple villains within the game without having played the game, because it seems like one of those RPGs.
No, so I'll say this, for just talking in between Xenoblade 2 and 3, there are really only 3 or 4 main villains that you could really call main villains.
Oh, okay. Surprise, surprise.
So it's not. So they take their time building it up.
I mean, they certainly do take their time. That game is very long.
The game is long because it's good. It's not like it's not like Pokemon where you just throw out DLCs just to throw out DLCs.
It
I
prints
mean-
money though.
Okay, would you rather print money or would you rather have a good reputation and print money?
I would rather just print money and skip the extra steps.
Yeah.
Okay, Fleming, you got one, or we need to give you a minute.
Okay. Okay. I think I've got it. I really didn't really realize how nerve-wracking this would be to do, but I have my villain of choice. So, you guys familiar with Ace Attorney?
Phoenix, right?
Yes,
I am not.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Oh,
I
So,
wish
I know-
I had played it, but I'm ignorant.
oh my
So I know that
gosh.
there's like all kinds of villains across the franchise because of the insane amount of cases and also just the general insanity of those cases to begin with. But for
Are you
like
talking
a
about the
more
first
general
one?
audience, I'll probably just touch on one from the original trilogy. One that'll be on your mind forever once you get to that. Once you actually get to the case he's involved in. Manfred von Karma.
Yeah, Von Karma's a freaking nutcase.
This guy, okay, so the background for him is that he's an undefeated prosecutor who hasn't lost once in 40 years of prosecuting.
Is he the guy that wears that helmet that glows different, or just goes red when he's
No,
speaking?
that's
or
a
whatever?
different guy.
That's
Oh,
a different
okay.
one.
Okay.
So the thing that makes Manfred von Karma as insane as he is that the one time that he actually got a penalty for like fucking up the evidence, I think, which was pointed out by Edgeworth's father, Gregory Edgeworth, he actually absolutely lost it. So
I could give a better
the
explanation.
next part,
So,
okay, yeah, I'll probably just could you take it away? Nut? I don't know if I
sure,
can
yeah, I got
really.
you. I got you. So the main protagonist, which is Phoenix Wright, his arch enemy uh, is I believe his name is
Miles Edgeworth.
Edward, right?
Miles Edgeworth.
Right. Edgeworth. Edgeworth is presented as a rival in this series where you constantly go against him through against many of the cases that he covers as well. Eventually, you get to a case that involves him as the victim or the accused.
The defendant, more like.
Mhm. And the story progresses and shows more and more of his backstory. After the trial is over, um, Edgeworth believes after a piecing a couple of memories together, that he thinks that he has killed his own father.
This incident, the DL6 incident, is Manfred von Karma's doing. It
Yeah.
the way it played out is that after the trial in which Manfred von Karma received his penalty after having that thing pointed out by Miles's father Gregory, um, there there was an earthquake in the courthouse that led to Miles, Gregory, and a bailiff, Yanni Yogi, getting stuck in an elevator. You know where it goes from here.
Yeah. Basically, there's other aspects on top of it, real quick, I'd like to cover. So you are under a time limit whenever you're playing the game, in the sense that because the case happened 20 years ago, happened almost 20 years ago, you have to solve the case that day. Otherwise, he goes free and Edgeworth is thought of as this killer since they can't use evidence from 20 years prior because it would be counted as inconclusive. So you have to figure it out and you have to pressure on karma. You have to piece together these things very quickly or else you lose.
The thing is, though, throughout that entire trial, that entire case, Von Karma has everything prepared. He has a counter to almost everything. It even goes to the point where he trained a parrot not to talk about the incident that would
Wait,
incriminate him.
this motherfucker
Yes.
trained a parrot
Yes.
to not talk. That parrot's a thug.
Yes. That is true. There was a parrot that was used as a piece of evidence and he kept trying to prevent the parrot from being used in court.
That's extremely funny.
What the fuck? Okay. I can't wait to see Emily play this game because she's thinking about playing it on her channel. And I'm actually excited to see her play it because I want to play the Phoenix Wright trilogy. Um,
Well, good news for you. The second trilogy, the Apollo trilogy, is coming out next year.
oh,
In addition,
Oh.
it's on the Switch right now.
yeah, we have it. We
The
bought
trilogy
it.
is
We just
on
haven't
the
played
Switch,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bought it. It was on sale, I think, when we got it. It was like, I
Yeah.
think 10-20% off or something. But yeah,
But that's a great pick. Von Karma's an unbelievable villain. I completely forgot about him.
I mean, when you have a villain who is a prosecutor for the court of law and he's been doing it for 40 years, that's insanity.
The later parts of the original trilogy will also touch on the impacts that the DL6 incident had on
Yeah.
other parts, and the thing that it all stemmed from that one penalty,
They
that
really all
singular
stem.
slip up.
The even more in addition to this, um, the that incident or the influence of Von Karma, even though he only shows up, I believe, once in the series, it spreads through multiple games. Like,
Oh.
I believe, for an example, Edgeworth, the following game, retires or leaves as a result to the effects of seeing all the evidence laid out before him over the time, and the manipulation that he suffered from von Karma's doing the emotional manipulation, and as he kept portraying him as the killer over all those years.
Dang. That's a sick submission then. I knew nothing about any of this going into that.
Oh, don't worry. It gets more insane as you actually
It's
delve
even
into
more
it.
insane. Like, I haven't even mentioned half of it. I haven't even mentioned half of it. This is all just from the first game that is explained.
So for the record, once you and Emily get to it, Secor, look out for turnabout goodbyes. That's the fourth case of the first game.
Okay. I will probably forget that in the next 10 minutes, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a bomb submission. Justin, you got one, or am I skipping you?
You can skip me for now. I'd go on a Xenoblade rant, and you don't want me to do that.
I don't. Okay. I'm looking at my list, which is ever shrinking, and you know what? I want to jump into some more obscure ones that I have on this list because why not?
Okay.
First off, I'd like to say Mary from Ebe. There's another one from Ebe, if you've never played this game. It's a game, I think, from 2006.
I've never heard of it before.
You've never heard of Ebe. So, you've heard of it?
No, I haven't.
No one's heard of it? Oh, man, I'm so old. Okay, well...
Yeah, man, you should play the modern games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
So, Ebe is It's a horror game that is about a little girl whose name is Ebe, who goes with her parents to an art museum. I believe she is 5 years old. She's like 5 or 6. The game portrays her as like extremely young. She's 5 or 6. She goes into this art museum by this famous artist. I forget the name of the artist, but he is also an antagonist in this game, even though he's dead. So what happens in the game, all of his paintings come to life, and you are now put in his world of all the paintings that he has ever created, and you are stuck in this parallel universe of the art museum because you have literally fallen through one of his paintings into his paint world. And another person has also fallen into this, Gary, if I remember right, who is, he is a responsible adult who has fallen in, and he has almost died, and you have almost died, because a lot of the stuff that this guy has painted is, like, extremely crazy. Like, there's literally a wall that has lips that you have to feed an apple, or if you try anything else, it literally eats your arm and then eventually consumes your entire body. Just to throw out there what some of the paintings and shit does. But Mary specifically is not human. Mary is a painting of a young girl, probably the artist's daughter, that he didn't have. Like, there's not a lot of information on it, but there's speculation he drew a daughter that he never had because his wife had a miscarriage or something like that. And so that painting came to life, but because it's a human painting, it acts human and it copies humans. And the one thing that it notices is Ebe once she meets her. So once Ebe meets Mary, Mary starts copying Ebe, but then looks at Gary as an outsider because Mary notices that Ebe is more similar to her because they're both young girls, and Gary is different. So Mary's entire purpose for a majority of this game is to kill Gary, make it into the human world, escape Painting Land, I'm just calling it Painting Land, and then just exist to pass as human, even though she is a painting creature. Which theoretically means that everything that is in Painting World could technically emerge into the real world from his one painting, which is ridiculous and kind of scary if you really think about it. But yeah, I'd like to submit Mary just because that's like a really villainous vibe, is where you like copy something and mimic until you decide that you need to start killing to get what you want. Or I guess
Holy shit.
Oh, that got Flam's attention at least. Yeah, it's actually a really well made game. It's not really
We're delving
like
in,
super.
we're like delving into some real cosmic horror here.
Yeah, it's definitely cosmic horror more than anything else. It's not like jump scary. Like there's a couple good jump scares, but most of it is just freakishness. And also the music in it's really good. But yeah, I'm submitting Mary.
Alright.
Oh, is it Justin that's turn?
It should be,
Oh,
since I
boy.
skipped him.
Uh-oh, I'm sorry.
I guess that means
I'll
he couldn't find one that wasn't Xenoblade.
Herb, I know what we're doing
Shut up.
today.
Praetor Amalthus from Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Get your popcorn.
So,
I have a bottle of
get
water.
your popcorn. So, I'm going to only cover the main story simply because combining the DLC as well as the main story, I feel like it's a bit unfair because most games don't have DLC. So that way we can, help push things along. So Amalthus's goal, initially, was to destroy the whole world, but that was simply because, his mother, who was taking care of him, and had been taking care of him for years upon years and upon years, for hundreds of years, because in Xenoblade, there are different races that can live longer than typical humans. He was one of those races. Anyway,
How old is he?
How old?
Yeah, I
That
need
is
to
a
know how
great-
old he is. This is extremely important information.
Over 5,000.
Okay, good. Granddaddy.
Over 5,000 at the time of the main story.
Okay.
Well, no, 500. I saw an extra zero. That
You
wasn't
fucking
there.
dyslexic motherfucker.
I don't want to hear it from you, okay? Okay, I don't want to hear it from you.
Fair.
Anyway, so after his mother eventually dies, and due to the grief that he suffered and in the way that she was killed, he decides that the world is all lost, there's no reason to continue living, and the world itself should go along with him. So he eventually works his way up among the ranks of a nation. And until he is the praetor, which is, I guess you could call it like the preacher of a church, right?
Okay. So the head of a church, basically.
Mm-hmm. They have a church, yes, as most villains do. Here's where things get interesting, though. After he works his way up to that position, he goes inside the world tree, the one tree that everyone is not supposed to go. He takes 2 core crystals. One of them is Pyra and Mithra, and another one that is called Malos. He bonds with the one that is with Malos and not Pyramithra, which is important because Pyramithra is the obvious one of the main characters in Xenoblade Chronicles. Malos turns evil because in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, whoever you bond with these crystals, they take a part of your personality. And since Malos is one of the two main crystals, he causes a whole bunch of war and violence amongst all the citizens in Allrest. Literally killing people for fun. And Amalthus could have stopped it by telling him that it was wrong. However, after telling Malos that it was wrong, Malos looked into his eyes and he saw that he didn't want it to stop. So he kept doing it over and over for 500 years. And the player character, or Rex, that you play as Rex in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, has to eventually figure out who Amalthus is, because he doesn't show up until like halfway through the story. He doesn't show up for a long, long while. But once you get to him, he is a completely game-changing character. And this is the TLDR, obviously, for Amalthus, because Xenoblade's so huge. But hopefully I summed it up for you guys.
Basically, what I got from all of that is somebody reanimated Genghis Khan's body, or Attila the Hun, and just decided that, yeah, this is fine, we're going to put this back on the planet and see what happens. And then death happened to a lot of people. Good villain.
Well, I tried.
Just nuts embarrassed.
I'm not embarrassed.
I don't think he can feel embarrassment.
Yeah. Oh,
Nah.
yeah. True. Yeah.
That nutshell of him is too dense.
The real villain in all of video games is really me, for all the pain I have caused in Pokemon.
We're not
We'll
gonna
let the
get
audience
into
know
this.
more.
We're not gonna get into this. At least you're not fucking Views. That's all I'll say.
What?
I'm not saying his fucking name on this podcast. Verlis.
Oh, for listening. Oh,
Yeah, Views.
Ah.
Views. We call them Views.
Views.
Yes, just call them Views.
I mean, they probably already know who you're talking about, but you know.
Probably.
It's fine.
Probably. Don't look at that channel. Trust me. It's not worth your time. You'll lose brain cells and
I
respect
know
for
this is-
humanity.
I know this
As
is
if I haven't enough already.
I know this is off topic, but Sky does Minecraft. Do you know him and everything he did?
I don't do anything that involves Minecraft. Anyone who is involved heavily with Minecraft,
Okay.
I don't like
He was
Minecraft. Unpopular opinion.
He was a YouTube
Extremely.
influencer.
Yes.
He was an influencer who, to sum it up, abused a whole bunch of people, including his viewers and his wife, and didn't pay for child support. Yeah, well, he came back 2 days ago, and the only comment that is there is Verlistify saying, "Welcome back, champ."
Oh, God, that sounds cancerous.
Well, as they say, trash does tend to attract more trash. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you right, Flam. You right.
I'm not even joking.
Odin, you got another villain for us?
Okay.
Well, we found our winner, boys.
I guess we Verlistify is the evil.
The overarching villain that we never knew about in
Yeah.
video games.
Okay, so I guess I'll give a villain. Majora from Majora's Mask.
Oh, that's a good one.
really good villain. You know, they're
That's a good villain.
integrated into the story very well, integrated into the gameplay very well. The world building, the character, like solid. The final boss too is really good as well.
Oh yeah, especially if you don't have the deity master just completely trash his ass.
Yeah, the without the deity mask, it's actually like very fun, very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just love how unhinged it is. The final boss fight, like.
Also the mysteriousness around it, because like once you get sucked into, I guess it's Majora, into the moon of Majora,
Yeah.
you have just those 4 children that are there that have all the previous bosses' masks, and there's no information whatsoever at all. It's just like, what are they? What do they have to do with Majora? All this other crap. It's like, it's so weird.
Yeah,
I think it establishes a lot of good stuff for a villain.
Another thing that they might say, some things are best left unanswered.
Link is dead. That's the answer. It's just a fever dream.
Oh my god, it's the only comment. I'm sorry, I'm off topic.
This man's actually digging the rabbit hole of Verlis. Actually,
something notable though, I looked up video game antagonists cheating, but
what came up first?
Is actually very high up here. I don't know why.
Wait, who?
Tom Nook from Animal Crossing.
Actually, no. That I think that I would submit that as the number 1 villain, just straight up. That is literally big business incarnate, corporation CEO, billionaire, buku bucks, bitch face, Tom Nook. I swear to God.
The way I would have put it was just calling him a capitalist, but you did a lot better.
You did this? Money, pay up. I'll send people to your house. Oh, you want to expand? I have this feature now. Let's go ahead and get that done. You didn't even ask for it, but pay up because I did it for you already. Oh my god. Yeah, no. Big business. Big business incarnate in video game, Tom Nook. I think that blows Ganondorf out the water. Ganondorf can destroy Hyrule and make everyone's life hell, and it's still not as bad as Tom Nook.
I think I said earlier that our greatest enemy is inconvenience. Well, Tom Nook has that and then some.
True.
Oh, God. It's okay if you cheat, by the way, because there's so many video game villains, it's hard to remember them all. I literally, 30 minutes before making this, made my list and typed out my characters.
Yeah.
Is this gonna devolve into who's just the most annoying villains instead of the greatest villain?
I mean, technically, them being annoying can make them a great villain. Like
Barry.
Okay. Whose turn is it to submit?
I have no idea anymore. Where have we gone? Where has the roller coaster taken us?
Let me look at my list and see annoying villains. Yeah, I can do this one. Yeah, sure, why not? The Devil. Cuphead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not the best villain in the world, right? But I think, like, for a game that is just bullet hell, only boss fights, I mean, I guess there's, like, levels, but it's only boss fights, let's be real. Like, the game itself, once you get to actually fight the devil, it is a really hard fight. Not like any of the fights are easy, but it's a really hard fight. It doesn't have, like, 3 stages to it. Like, I think they all do, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised though, because you would think it'd be like the hardest fight in the game, but it wasn't like as hard as some of the other fights earlier on, which is kind of like surprising.
I think that probably the hardest fight was the roller coaster one. I never beat the game. I've watched the game, so I know enough. But like I proved to myself I cannot play one of those games. It's too much for me.
The way I could put the devil, it's just hard. It's just
Yeah,
hard.
it's just hard.
Yeah.
I think the roller coaster one from earlier on was probably harder. That clown dude like on the train.
Really?
He's kind of tough. I don't know if he's hard or.
Doesn't the spread shot just shit on him?
I don't fucking
Yeah.
remember.
I have a legitimate villain that I like to submit. It is
Oh,
from
so the
Pokemon
devil's not a
franchise.
legitimate villain. Oh, I get it.
Well, he's not really. He's just the devil. So
I
don't
know,
what to
that's
tell you.
fair.
Pokemon Legends Arceus. You know who I'm talking about.
Are we talking
Bolo?
about Professor Rowan's great-great-grandfather?
I am talking about Cynthia's great
Grandmother.
ancestor. No,
What's her name? Cognia?
starts
Cognia, I
with a
think,
Z.
yeah.
No,
Cognac?
she has two ancestors. She has two ancestors. One of them is Cognia.
Cognia! Sorry, I had to do it.
Oh my god.
Cacnia's cousin.
It feels painful that cut off on my end on Discord.
I'm sorry for that.
I'm talking about Volo.
Who the fuck is Volo?
Yeah, who's
Oh
that?
my
Like,
gosh.
I can't.
What are
I
you
can't.
on
Actually,
about,
I can't
dude?
believe this shit.
Volo from Legends Arceus.
Wait, is he the
I don't know
dude
who
that...
you're talking about, man.
Oh, right, because that's her grandson or
Yeah,
whatever. Oh, that guy. No wonder I forgot about him. I didn't even
I know,
remember he
right?
was a character. Terrible
I know,
villain.
like, he has no influence in the story. Like, he's just not notable in any regard.
He's
Like,
really
I hate
not.
you all. None of you played it then.
I
Okay,
did play
I see.
it. I remember when he came into play because you like something you said made me remember him, but I'm like, he doesn't fucking exist.
He's
No,
there
right?
from the very start. What are you talking
He
about?
is the pettiest excuse for a villain in history.
No, that would be me. Okay, let's get that out. Okay, I am the pettiest excuse.
Get in the ring with Volo. We'll figure out which one of you is more petty.
It's not even competition. Do you if you can't even name one of his accomplishments, then how can
He caught a toga kiss.
He
has
he was the one
Cynthia's
responsible for
team.
sending you back in time alongside Giratina.
Yeah, that. He's
Fine, then I'll submit him
related
as-
to Cynthia. Checkmate. Oh, get him.
Okay, fine. He sends out freaking. He cheats. He uses Giratina. He uses 8 Pokemon. 6 of them are just Cynthia's entire team, and then it's just Giratina from there on out.
Yeah, but here's my rebuttal. You, as the player, are probably also using several different stupidly busted Pokemon as well.
He
Including
has
a Dialga or a Palkia, probably.
yes, but counterpoints. That Giratina, after you KO it, changes form
Yeah,
and then goes back to full health.
and this
That
man's
thing
acting
also
like...
has that thing also has the alpha effect where its stats are boosted, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Yes.
it did have that. That was very annoying. This man acts like I didn't use an Umbreon to not give a fuck about anything.
I was just over leveled on my second playthrough, but I
Also
had to.
that.
But I remember having to resort to Hisuian Zoroark to deal with this Giratina.
I think I also used Hisuian Zoroark to help deal with it, but overall, I had an Umbreon that just didn't give a shit. Because it's an Umbreon.
Yep, been stalling since Gen 2.
Pretty much. And I never used an Umbreon.
You can't do that in Gen 9.
You can. It's called get a Regenerator only team and just switch out of battle forever.
You can.
That's
It's called playing NU.
Yes.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. If only there were, more than 3 Regenerator Pokemon in the game.
Wait, but I feel like we can bring this up now that the DLC is out. Didn't Toxic come back?
Yes.
Yeah. It's
And-
not at
and-
wide distribution, but
It's still
And-
wide
and-
enough to where it fucking sucks.
yeah, Toxic Chain too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hate that move. If there were like 4 moves of Pokemon that I would like straight up get rid of, it would be Stealth Rock, Spikes, Sticky Web, and Toxic.
Oh, so you want to keep Dire Claw? I completely agree, dude.
That's
You
on
keep
only
Dire
one
Claw.
Pokemon. It's fine.
That's
It's a stupid
Toxic
broken
Spikes.
move. Toxic, yeah,
You're
five
saying-
Toxic Spikes. Those 5 moves, you get rid of them in Pokemon, the entire metagame is no
Oh,
longer
wait,
centralized around hazards.
wait. Secret counterpoint. Get rid of Confuse, right? I have suffered enough from it.
Fair point. Six moves. Double team and minimize and other evasion boosting moves. Get rid of those too.
Thunder Wave because of 1 of 4 chance of not doing anything.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
That is not fine.
It's
That is not.
No.
Not that bad, bro.
It's not
Is
that
that
bad. It's
bad?
not as bad as when we had fucking Klefki over here, which was Sub Protect Swagger. That was a moveset on a Pokemon that had no attacks because it didn't have to. It literally said, I'm gonna make this game a coin flip. Here. Didn't matter what your
Yeah.
Pokemon were. Didn't matter anything. You just 50-50, coin flip. Does anyone else have any notable villains they would like to submit?
I've got one,
I have one more, and then I think we should probably end the episode.
probably.
Okay, let's go out with a bang.
All right, so everybody just has one, then we'll call it quits.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sounds about right to me.
Well, who's submitting first?
I'll go first. All right, get us.
Okay, gets us. Okay. It's a good villain. You want to explain to the class, even though we are the class that already knows?
No, y'all can play the games.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Getsus is a loser who slaps a girl that I hate. Actually, no, Getsus.
Hey, listen, that was
fucking-
fun. That was funny.
I absolutely love Getsus. Now, he is an absolutely great villain, because from the very beginning of his introduction, he's literally just... Is Shadow King appropriate of a name? Because he's literally just playing second fiddle, only to become the usurper of essentially the world by saying, I'm going to be the only one with power and no one else will, because these idiots are so stupid that they're going to follow me, then not have Pokemon, but I'm going to have Pokemon and no one else will. Like, that's his whole plan. And it fucking damn near works.
Let's not forget that his team in the original Black and White was tailor-made to sweep Ed's team with the legendary Dragon in
actually
tow.
a try-hard team. Yeah.
It was built to stop in.
Yeah, it actually was built to
And
stop
also the additional detail of his Hydreigon having a max power frustration in Black and White 2. Yeah.
him. Yeah. Getsus is just so goddamn dope. I think he's like a really good written villain. And he just goes insane, too. Like, that's the other part. I love a villain that loses their damn mind. And just any form and sense of logic is gone. It's just rage. I love that. Alright. So Getsus, I'll cross that one off my list. I wasn't going to use him. So I really got to look at my list and submit something good here. I have some from Genshin Impact. I should probably erase that one too. Oh.
I've run out of brain juice.
That's fine. We still have a minimal amount to work with. I'm just looking at my list to figure out if I should go with this or if I'm just gonna toss Captain Quark out there from Ratchet and Clank. Probably not.
Dude, stop moaning. We're on a podcast.
I don't know. You know what? Just for I wanted to. No, I don't want to go into the FNAF lore. I don't want to submit that one. Fuck.
Yeah, it's kind of
That in its entirety could just be its own episode, and I would be completely clueless about it because I haven't gotten into it yet.
Oh, if you ever do, you'll be stuck in the rabbit hole with me, and you'll eventually have books on your shelf of the FNAF series, and they're not all of them. Well, really, the first book ever published in the series of the FNAF books is pretty bad. It's written poorly. I could have written better drunk, and y'all know what I'm like when I'm drunk. Get giggitied.
That's one only the true fans will know.
You're Quagmire if you couldn't get a girl.
God! Fuck! I feel like I've been just destroyed! Holy shit! Wait! I'm gonna go ahead and just submit, I'm just gonna go ahead and just toss it out there. La Senora. I'll toss out La Senora, or basically the Shesnai Harbingers from Genshin Impact. I think that's pretty prevalent. So there's still, at least for me, a lot that is still left unknown about the Shesnai Harbingers, and the reasons that they are collecting the Gnosis from the Archons throughout Teyvat. And it's baffling to me that they're just doing it, and it's like, how are they not able to do this earlier, like before the Traveler really starts adventuring around? So like, there's like a lot of questions that have remained unanswered, but La Senora in particular, who seems to be the most successful, albeit not the strongest of the Harbingers, because they're numbered in terms of their power in the Harbingers of themselves. Whatever they call themselves, whatever. You know what? Fuck it. But yeah, she's number 8, so there are still 7 who are stronger than her, and she's literally, and I just got through the Inazuma side, or main story, and it's like, she has literally set this up in such a way that, well, she didn't even get the Gnosis from Inazuma. It was actually Balladeer. But she set this up in such a way that she's speaking with Puppet Raiden Shogun and gotten things done. And she's killed quite a large number of people just to even get there. Like, it's like the doggedness of the Shnesnayan. It just baffles me, and I want to know so much more about it. A good villain, I think, is one that makes you want to know more about them and, like, their reasoning for things. Because, like, if I was going to throw out one that's a good example, Syndrome from The Incredibles, one of the best villains ever, just because, like, his reasoning is so solid for why he does what he does, and I cannot find a way to disagree with it. So yeah, but for the Shnesnayan, I just don't understand why they're doing it, and I want to know so badly why they're doing it. Because it's, I don't know, there's just a lot to it. Also, big titties for the win. Big titty villain?
Oh, I mean, like three readers or so more to go. There's still like so much time left, so much to wonder and find out.
Yeah, that is very true.
I think a Sword Art Online could produce anything.
The Sword Art Online have a game? Because that's an anime, and that's the worst anime ever made.
It's got to
Very true.
We're getting nowhere
Was
with
your
this, aren't we?
submission Sword Art Online, Justinut? Like the anime itself is the villain? I mean, it loses because it's not a video game villain.
It is a video game. It is.
No,
it
it's
is-
an anime
No,
that is about a video
not
game.
that.
You're
No,
overstepping.
they made a video game on it. They made
Oh
a
my
video
God.
game on it. So
But it's
it does
originally an
count.
anime, so it doesn't count.
It does count. because
Overruled.
Okay, then Cell
anime is
Dragon Ball
about.
count. Like,
Like
It
if you
does count
if
because
you're
it's
going to say
about
that, then
an
we can
anime.
just start listing out Dragon Ball Z characters. We can go into Seven Deadly Sins, start tossing those out. Demon Slayer, toss some of them out. Fucking One Piece has a game. How many
Yeah,
fucking One Piece villains are there at this point?
there's a shit ton.
Yeah.
It's over 250. Don't ask. I'm not an expert.
Yeah, fucking Naruto. You, like, literally every anime, I'm pretty sure every really popular anime has a video game. So that would include all animes at that point. We're not doing that. Okay?
Yeah, just not that. We're not pulling that logic out here. Like,
When
I'll
we
pull
get
that
to the
logic out.
anime villain segment of this, some months or whatever down the line, then we can do that.
Fine, then I'll pull this card out. Jump Force, the real anime villain.
Who?
I
Jump
feel my
Jump
brain
Force.
running
It
by
is
the
a
second.
game that is notoriously the worst
Fighting game.
ever.
Yeah.
Ever. It's not even close. It is so unbelievably bad and so unbelievably unbalanced.
Wait, I might
It
know.
pays.
Is this a
It pays.
game that you had to
It
pay?
is a game.
No, hold on. Is this a game that on Steam sells for $200, but it's only one level?
No. It is a full game that you paid $60 for. You can look it up. It is basically a collaboration of every anime player together, but the story itself retains nothing of substance at all.
So what?
I don't
It's
think. I mean, the story's not the worst part of it. Like, it's
It
a
is,
fighting
it's-
game. So.
It's a fight, yeah, but
so
But, like,
the-
It's just the game is like very bad in general. But yeah.
it's so awful.
is it the Aragon movie of video games?
I wouldn't even. No. It's not. Don't. You would actually be disgracing it. You'd be disgracing Aragon even further than it already has. It is not as bad as this game.
Wow. Wow, okay then. I might have to look it up, shoot.
Shoot, if this game is really that bad, I gotta see it.
Like, I was thinking, like, bad games, because I've seen Moist Critical do, like, the one that I mentioned, which was the $200 on Steam, and it's only one level, and it's really short, is like...
That's funny.
Yeah, and he bought it and played it just to show how awful a game it was. Because of course he did, but still, like...
Should have paid $1 million for that one game.
There are some people trying to cash grab. I thought that was bad. Like, the villain itself was the game, but no, like, if you're saying that it's so bad that there's no substance to anything plot-wise, okay, but who's the villain in that game?
The villain, get this, okay? Let me know if any of this sounds familiar. The villain is a giant organization full of characters that were taken over by a cube.
Kingdom
I'm not
Hearts?
joking. No. It was taken over by a cube, right? By two evil villains, and they don't go any further than that. I'm not joking. They
Is
don't
it-
go any further.
Am I like staring at the void and it's staring back kind of thing?
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
feel like.
It should be like that.
So just, there's two villains, but they're unnamed, you know nothing about them, they just are said to exist. It's the mythical prophecy. The promise of villains.
Yeah, all they're doing is making the monkeys in my head just clang those things together. You know what I mean?
Wait. You know what's funny though about it? Whenever they announce the villains, Light Yagami shows up. I'm not even joking. Light Yagami shows up with the Death Note.
If he had the Death Note, wouldn't he just almost win by default?
Wait.
I mean, he needs to know their faces.
No. He can't. He doesn't kill them. Why? Because nobody knows their name.
Well, that's even less satisfying. I like Death Note because I liked seeing people die.
Light Yagami does nothing. He just shows up, walks up. You can't even use him to fight.
That's actually very sad.
He's just there.
I mean, what would he do?
He'd write down the name and win.
Yeah, that's an exceptional fighting game character.
There might be a anime character he can't beat. Hold on. Is there any full-on robot character from an anime that doesn't?
Genos?
Yeah, there you go. Genos. Genos doesn't have a human heart. Bam.
Genos isn't even in the game, so.
Oh, Sag. Has anyone else got one more final villain before we clear out?
I guess not a villain, but a exceptional antagonist, Gary Oak.
Oh, such a douchebag character.
I've got one too, Princess Peach.
No, don't be pulling Mama into this. Hold on now. What's wrong with her?
You want my list? She calls a plumber to go save her butt.
Well, technically, she doesn't call him to come save her. He just kind of finds out because Bowser's just got that big of a dick swinging. And it's known. It's known. When Bowser does something, it's fucking known. Everyone sees it.
The most important trait about Peach is her screaming Mario.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, to be honest.
Maybe that's like the language that she learned. Maybe like her language is saying Mario in different inflections. It's like Schnitzel from Chowder, but she says Mario instead. Never thought about that.
I can hear the voices in my head. What have you done? Oh no, I won't be able to sleep tonight. I think we're just gonna have to leave it at that and ponder about our existences.
Alright, well, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in and listening. We'll have another podcast go up next week about the exact same time. But until then, we hope you all have a great one.
I hope your guys' brains aren't as rotten as us. I'm losing it. Help.
Well, also, go and check out the Discord, which is r/CDs Nuts Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
As it sounds. Well, sort of. It's like CDs as in actual CDs, and then nuts as in actual nuts, and podcast as in podcast. But yeah, so go and check out the subreddit, and let us know in the subreddit if you want to, what your favorite villains are and why they are good villains, etc., etc. And with that, we bid you adieu. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
CD's nuts next time.
That's the outro. That's the outro we're going with. Holy shit, that's amazing.
You did it.
Yeah.